Greetings and welcome back to the Innervated podcast. This is episode number 15. I'm your host Radoslav Nidrakolev, and we are back for another great show tonight. As usual, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host. First and foremost, welcome back, the Chief. Now busy guys, luminosities, manager and Twitter expert. When you are on Twitter, you're constantly on Twitter.
Oh my God! You have to live on Twitter in this day and age, man. You know, I'm in my 30s, and it's a little bit of a culture shock, but it's pretty easy to pick up. But you have to live on it if you're in esports, man. That's how it breaks down. It's social media is God when it comes to esports.
I mean, it makes me happy that I don't have to be on Facebook, because on Facebook I get to read a lot of stupid shit. And
Face
on Twitter,
what?
face what? And then on Twitter, I still read a lot of stupid shit, but at least they're short and digestible. So, I mean, nobody can be that dumb in 140 characters.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Well,
I beg to differ.
At least you cannot go like incredibly dumb. You cannot go Facebook stupid. It's that.
You've never seen Tweet Longer, have you?
Well, I don't retweet longs. Or whatever.
Oh, man,
it's
just,
okay.
But it's been a hellacious week for us, you know. Okay. And a lot of trying times, a lot of taxing issues. But thank God for Rocket League. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is how you're relaxing from the hard day of being Hearthstone manager. You just play football.
Yep. Nothing like vehicular carnage based around a sport I could really care nothing about. But I just like blowing things up.
This is what I was going to ask you about. Like, you're an American, so I don't know if you guys can actually hit the round ball. So, because
we beat Germany 2-1. Shut up.
You beat Germany. Wow. How much did you pay them? It
is 5+, so it is possible. It is possible. But no, the soccer is a universally old sport. Everybody has played it at one time of their life or another. It's been around since like the Aztecs. So I mean, yeah, might as well stop hating. But now that I get to do it in a V8 engine, I'm all for it.
Do you think the Aztec national team was better than America's?
Oh yeah, because they used a real human head.
Oh yeah, that's way more. Oh, you would really be good at this.
Oh God, yeah, I'd be tearing the heads off to bring it in. You know, managers got to supply.
Do you actually see Rocket League becoming the new esport?
I actually do, and it's really funny because there's a lot of like professional Hearthstone players who are really into this game. They're wanting to be competitive with it, and I think this is going to be something that's actually going to take off there. Not to mention the fact you can play it on PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean there's also cross-platform, like you can play on PC with the guys on PlayStation, so it's really cool. Like I've been watching some some of the pro guys, I guess, like the popular streamer doing tricks like, oh god, is I cannot even hit the ball with the car when it's standing in one place, and these guys are hovering with their with their thrust, like holding in the air, like what?
Yeah, go see how many hours they've put into that game. I guarantee you it's going to be like 50, 60, 70. That takes time to actually look at the rings down as the ball is coming, so you know when to jump, and timing is everything in that game, and being in the right position.
So guys, I love your conversation, but there's actually really urgent news coming in right now.
Oh, do tell. What is it? What is it?
Grand Tournament Brawl coming next week.
Oh god. Okay. So fuck Rocket League. I mean, it's an amazing game, but okay, this actually people saw into this because when you go to the client and you click on Tavern Brawl, the message read "close for innovation" instead of the usual "be back in a few days" or something of this. So, okay, let's read this one. Raise the banners and sound the trumpets. One of Azeroth's grandest events is almost here. We're celebrating this exciting occasion with the most glorious Tavern Brawl, the Grand Tournament match. Okay, so
it seems to be fixed decks.
Starting Wednesday, just hop into Hearthstone, select Tavern Brawl, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
I was wondering if they were going to do something like this, because if you remember in GVG, they put those cards in the arena for us to play with. Like a sneak preview kind of thing. So here's our sneak preview.
This is amazing. Like this, I've been waiting for how are they going to announce. And it's free. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, for Arena, wasn't it free as well? Like everybody got a free Arena when GVG launched?
But I mean, come on, you really wanted to go in there like seven or eight times. Lord knows I paid like so much money to like test out GVG in Arena.
Like, my guess is it would be some of the random decks, I guess. Like they wouldn't be pre-constructed. Maybe something like the what was it? The random decks where you just got 15 creatures and 15 spells all mixed together. And
yeah,
I guess that could be interesting, like a man mode version of that. That's cool.
I guess
like
they
that.
just wanted, to better show off. Like Joust is not gonna work in random decks, and I guess they kind of wanted to show off.
Yeah, true.
It depends. If you get the gadgets and Jouster, then it might. But other than that,
it's still not gonna work.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. Like probably the first Brawl I'm gonna play with actual joy and play more than one game on it. So I mean, I
try to put at least 20 in on each, and by that I mean 20 wins, which isn't always easy.
Yeah, so it's coming this week, right? So
yes, and
so I guess they will leave it for 1 week, and TGT will launch on August 24th. There's a lot of us, expected, and it was
Well, there was a huge hype about it possibly coming out Wednesday. It's like, 8-hour maintenance. It's got to be coming out. Oh my God, 8-hour maintenance. I'm like, did you guys forget GVG? Same thing. Come on.
And besides, we got the clue from our almighty, all-seeing Lord, the Windows clock.
Windows clock OP.
The old nemesis of game developers, and the oldest time hype killer. It's anyway. So yeah, again we're going to play it for 5 days. I cannot think of a better way to actually introduce TGT cards into the game before the game is launched, because Arena, as you said, Shiv, it's not free, and if you suck at it, like I do, it's not a fun experience, it's...
But here you got a free experience, and this makes sense market-wise, because you give them the free experience of trying out these cards, seeing if they really, really want to invest that $50 initially. And as they said, as soon as the Grand Tournament comes out, that 50 for 50 pre-order, gone. And that's a really great deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I should actually buy this one. Still have to get my salary, but I'm totally buying this. It's a great deal. I'm
Make sure to check with the girlfriend first. Honey, we can't go and eat this week because I had to go buy 50 packs.
She cooks now. She cooks now. So
That's awesome.
That's a money saver for me to go and buy packs. Like she was
so warn the cat to run.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna eat my cat. He smells like he poops a lot. So it's like if I'm really starving, then I will consider it. But he's very cute and very smelly, so it's not really the ideal meal. Anyways, after this breaking news, moving on to more news. Starting in Korea, where Surrender from Team KO All Stars could become the second Hearthstone player to ever defend a major title. The other one being James Farbat Kostesic, who won 2 Definities back to back. So far, although there are players with a lot of major championships, nobody has able to defend and win back to back offline finals, except again Farbat. Surrender will play against Honbi. He's the guy who eliminated Zizou in the semifinals from OGN, and the finals will be on August 22nd, I think 7 or 8 Korean time, which is around noon in European time, and pretty shitty times for North America, but again, they know.
My question is, how many more points is he going to get? Because he's already sitting at like 431 points. This guy has more points than anybody else in Hearthstone right now. The whole Korean system, literally, they have embraced Hearthstone and are maximizing points to some huge degree.
Yeah, but then again, you have to know that there's, the points only count within the region. They're actually not pushing out other people from the qualifiers. So it will be just the Korean qualifier. The question is, who can be these KO All-Stars guys? Because they look like the prime team in Korea. Before it was Golden Coin, the team that Rini Hour and... Actually, Surrender was also on the team, and who else was Kranich, also on Golden Coin. So all unknown, basically Korean guys. They were in Golden Coin. Now they're in. A lot of them went to Western teams, and now KO All Stars has been found out as the top team in North Korea. Probably not in South Korea. They also have.
See, I'm not the only one who actually watches OGN at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep.
Yeah, I mean. I go to Zuba, there are like 20 people there, so I guess I'm about 10% of their viewership. I mean, oh my god, like there's some really good guys there. I mean, Surrender, Celsiho. Celsiho was the guy who won the first OGN and went to the finals in the second one. So these guys.
Stilo.
What?
Isn't Stilo there as well?
In KO, I'm not sure. It's looks.
I'm talking about in that tournament though.
Yeah. But the last one had so many misplays. So oh god, like there was, I can't remember who did it. Was like he's playing warrior and he has 6 free mana and nobody has anything on the board and he has Dead's Bite in hand and he doesn't play it and he ends the turn and 15 seconds later he's like, oh shit, like I could have played Dead's Bite. So yeah, again, really good competition. Usually, if you close your eyes for the misplays here and there, definitely interesting to watch. Although they're not really, weird metagaming like the Chinese, it's still good fun, and it's the guys at OGN do good production. So if you can spare a few minutes, go check out OGN Korea. But anyways, moving on, all TGT cards are now revealed. Most of them were revealed during a stream with Ben Brode and Frodan. A lot of them were revealed on Facebook. So now we know what all the set will be like, and we are going to again tap into the question later on in the show when we go to our main topic. But the first topic for today is going to be the Archon Team League, and as you guys might know, this week is the last week of group stages. So by the end of Thursday, we will know which 2 teams will go straight to the finals, which teams will fight for relegation, which teams will fight for the satellite. So there are different stages of trying to go to the finals.
Right.
And let's look at the standings.
It's 4-8 tie in the top.
Yeah. First of all, it's a 4-8 tie. Tempo Storm.
And the team hosting it isn't even there.
Like, this is basically the dream scenario for this kind of tournament. Like, I mean, the risk of this by week 7, when you really want to hype up the finals, is that the last match just do not matter at all. Like, it's totally settled. But nope, everything to play for. And the beautiful thing is, these top 4 teams are gonna play between each other.
Yep.
So they're going to be playing for the final spots: Tempo Storm versus Value Town, Cloud9 versus Nilium.
Yeah, it's
one
versus 2, 3 versus 4.
That's Clash of the Titans in Hearthstone, man. That is Clash of the Titans.
The only fault here is that it's day 1. It's like, what the heck?
Like, it's still going to be exciting on day 2 because you want to know the final standings, but you know, it's. A few teams deserve a mention, and I guess our I don't want to say apology, but you know, us eating our words, because when we wrote an article, a big preview article about ATLC when the league was about starting, we said that one team in particular, Tempo Storm, would suck, and Tempo Storm are actually 4-2 now in the lead with +8 tiebreaker. And
yeah, they went and then got themselves like a great coach. Eloise came through like a boss. I mean, there's just so much there. I mean, Eloise just...
Yeah, absolutely. Like, what I like about Tempo Storm is how seriously they actually took the whole league, because, you know, usually I might be wrong, but you know, they've been struggling before trying to pick up players. They had a very poor in numbers roster. They didn't really have as much depth as other teams, and now they started signing players. They took Eloise, who is fantastic player, like probably one of the best in China,
and one of the luckiest players too. My God.
And then they fucking got Kaldi, and if you don't know Kaldi, he's been proven himself as one of the best and brightest analysts. Maybe not as successful as a player in terms of major championships take him, but boy is this dude analytical. And they took him, they hired him for the purpose of building lineups for ATLC, and well, it has paid off. It has paid off because they've won 4 in a row after being 0-2. I mean, they couldn't really afford another loss at this point, and then they've crushed it, really. Like, Kaldi was tweeting that we are wrong, in our prediction ultimately, and we were. It's no shame to admit it. And
I mean, speaking of Kaldi, I've known Kaldi since like the first days of Hearthstone. He played in all the mana grind stuff in the early part. He was kind of a pain in the ass then too. But he's one of the most analytical, technical players you'll ever see. He can read a meta, read what's going to be good, read what's not going to work. He doesn't fall for the little gimmick, draw play here. So, yeah, this was a great pickup for Tempo Storm, and it's paying out huge for them right now.
I mean, this is like when we interviewed Kaldi, he told us that he's going to focus more on this kind of stuff, like analysis, casting, less so than playing. And well, it's an okay decision. Like, I don't fault players for stepping out, because I am very competitive myself, but I'm not a good player. I mean, I hate losing. I do not. I'm stubborn in losing, etc. And I will never be a good competitive player. And I've tried to be a good competitive player for years in Magic the Gathering, and I just don't have the mindset. But I guess writing about the game, analyzing about the game suits me better. And for many players, it's the same case. We've seen it in countless esports. In StarCraft, League of Legends, it's like, it's no shame to not be the best player in the world. Really, like, it's okay if your forte is really thinking about a game, analyzing the game, helping others be better. That's fine too. And I really like that Kaldi is stepping into this direction, because he can make things matter now. Like, he can make a difference for Tempo Storm. He's basically one of the main reasons they're so successful right now. Like, they cannot deny this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, analyzing is turning out, I think, to be half the battle. Like, I mean, we don't really count Trump as much, but he is really analytical, and I honestly think that we don't know that much internally. But I think that the reason why Value Town lies at number 2 is because he is actually
and
one of
too, like,
yeah. I mean,
Like
We have,
Kibler became known in Magic the Gathering just for analyzing metagames. Like he would
yeah.
read the meta one step ahead. He would go to a Pro Tour and he would know what's going to be played, and he had already tapped his deck against the change that would be. So,
I mean, that's also a team that's really been, surprising our predictions, and our predictions was already pretty, what's the word, gradius, like it was pretty, they had, like, poorly from the results at the start of the season, they had no right to get this good results. Like,
you mean Temostorm or Violet Town?
Yeah, Value Town. Like, they had, like, this was before Trump starting taking entire tournaments, and
Yeah. Oh my God, he's.
I mean, yeah.
Like, it's funny when you think that, because I was thinking the other day that about the Ghost Awards that we're going to do at the end of the year. So if you guys are not familiar with the Ghost Awards, it's a tradition of the site that's done in every section, and it's basically celebrating the best in every category, in every game. So I was just casually thinking about what nominations we're going to possibly have at the end of the year. And last year we didn't have one category because the game is new. It's called Breakout Player, that's or Breakout Team that other esports have. So when I started thinking, okay, what are the breakout players of this year? the amazing names that come to mind. Life Coach is the #1 pick. Like, Life Coach is the best player in the world right now, next to Firebot in my eyes. He's a breakout player because he didn't compete at all. Like, almost no tournaments in 2014. Fucking Trump, who always was around but never a competitive player. He's on such a hot streak that's unbelievable. Like, these guys that are defining Hearthstone since the beginning, they're going to be in the breakout categories. It just blew my mind. It's going to be a very interesting year for Ghost Awards.
I was busy looking at Life Coach's track record recently, and if you actually graph it out like they do on Gosu Gamer, and you go look at his win to loss, it's really funny. It's like win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. That man has the most progressive climb I have ever seen in my life. And then you look at some players, it's like win, loss, win, loss. Not him. No, it's no.
Yeah, he loses like one game every 5 games or even less. So it's oh my God! Like, Hearthstone is so exciting this year. Like, so many good players, and we actually see the definition of consistency. And some players are showing consistency and they're on top. Others are not.
There's a reason why we still refer to Firebat as the world champion, because he is proving himself worthy of the title. Like,
he is. He definitely is. And also, I'm going to point out, Life Coach gets some amazing opening hands.
He has the druid skills, right? He plays a great druid. Yeah, it's
like every tournament should automatically say Life Coach is not allowed to play druid. End of discussion, because it'll always end up the same way. Wild Growth, Innervate, opening hand every game. I'd kill for that.
Anyways, talking about teams and players that are not doing quite well, though, Team Celestial is on the bottom of the tables, with no chances of making anything. They have 0 wins in the last 6 weeks. So,
I feel like they're at the point where they just don't care at this point. Like, I feel like the shocking aspect is the first 4 wins, and from there they just probably don't even bother anymore. And when you have teams that prepare versus teams that don't give a shit, it's the teams that prepare that win.
Yeah,
exactly.
Man, but I am actually surprised, and for several reasons. First of all, I know that China has always been eager to prove itself, even though Taylor Celestial doesn't need really to prove himself at all. His team was new. His team was just founded. They wanted to do good. I mean, of course, you want to do it. It's a $250,000 tournament, but there's more than just money on the line. If we have to use this cliche.
Yeah,
And they prepared a good team. Like, Taylor Celestial is currently ranked #1, although probably he'll be overtaken really soon. Silent Storm just came out of ESL Championship and are several other good performances. And then Frozen Eyes, okay, he might be a bit of the weak link, but still not a player that just loses everything, right? He can still win games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. You could have 3 all-star players in a team. Doesn't make a team.
Yeah, exactly. This when we were writing about Celestial, we were talking about there's going to be inconsistency because within the team, like not with the players, but within the team, because that they're spread in 3 different regions. They play 3 different metas. It's probably hard to communicate, and train and prepare decks when Silent Storm is in Canada and Tiller is in China or something. I don't really know how preparations go in Team Celestial, but I can just speculate, and I think it's a pretty good speculation to say that it's so something was not working in Team Celestial, and as Stefan said, it's the preparation. Like it has to be this. It has to be not giving a shit at one point, or not preparing enough for previous matches. I don't know, but again, I didn't expect them to go 0-6. Like I expected them to be one of the weaker teams in the league, but not 0-6, man. Like
I mean, what I can't get over here is 0-6 is pretty shameful. I mean, if you're not preparing, even for lesser events, I have my team basically is like, all right, he's going to be at this event. Let's get to it. I want all of you guys throwing decks at it. Let's come up with the best possible lineup. Let's go through this. I want practice. Go. And they do it. That's how it's supposed to be. You get your players prepared. And here, I'm kind of feeling like, oh, hey, yeah, we're here. Bye.
Yeah.
I just, it was cringe.
I really don't want to think that this was the case, but it looks like it.
Yeah, and I don't want to keep beating this dead horse anymore. Let's move
They're
on.
out. Like they're basically the punching bag for
Yeah.
Liquid. Is it? No, it's Archon that gets to finish them off.
Oh, Archon gets to finish him off.
So still, Team Celestial have the possibility to push down Archon, because Archon are 3-3, so just on the brink of not making Satellite. I mean, 3rd to 5th place.
So if Celestial beats Archon, that basically elevates Forsen Boys?
Yeah, well, depends how Forsen Boys does, but speaking of Forsen Boys...
They need to beat Liquid.
Yeah, speaking of Forsen Boys, they're one team that... Well, did not follow up on the initial hype. Like they started, I think 2-0 or 3-0. I think it was 2-0.
Yeah.
And then just.
I think they ran out of liquor and snus. To be perfectly honest with you.
You think Forsen ran out of liquor?
Probably not. I'm pretty sure they have a liquor store in his building just for him.
I mean, it looks like a team that's, I don't know, I haven't really been following them too much, but I suspect that they might have been found out, basically, like, they might be too predictable lineups.
That's kind of funny, considering. Oh, man. I mean, yeah,
that's the usual story when you fall short like this. Like,
yeah, I mean, I looked at their choices. I was actually expecting a lot more creativity out of Forsen Boys, and I really didn't see much of it. I didn't. And I was a little sad about that. But, again, if you're going to go for a tournament where there's this amount of money on it, do you go for that oddball thing, or do you go for something that might actually have a better chance of success? All right, so you go for the thing that has a better chance of success. But, unfortunately, they weren't able to bring it together.
Yep. So, looking back, guys, at 6 weeks of Archon Team League, and heading into the final week, obviously, and then into the Grand Finals, what lessons are to be taken out of the league so far? And because it's probably going to have a season 2, like I can only imagine. So, what do you make of ATLC? Like, do they need to improve of anything, or do they need to include something, remove something?
Well, they already removed one element,
yeah,
which we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
But
I
think the takeaway lesson in here is no matter how you start out, it doesn't matter. It's how you come back. It's how you unite as a team and how you prepare for things. That and always ping, Boombot from Dr. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to say something else, like if you're going to do, like they're gonna have the massive problem. I don't know how they're gonna handle it, but the live finals are September 11th. Like, that the Grand Tournament's going to be out for like 2 weeks by that point, and I don't know how they're going to handle it. Are they really going to have no Grand Tournament card at that
Oh,
point?
I'm sure this is not going to be the case. No chance they're not going. They will have TGT 100%. Like, if you don't have TGT cards,
2 weeks in, like.
nonetheless. I mean, did you see the thing about iSeries? Like, iSeries said it was going to be on August 29th, so 5 days after TGT release, and their initial rule set said no TGT cards announced. Then the community followed up and they changed it within a day.
Yeah.
And it's the good decision because if you remember GVG, everybody was, and actually every expansion of Hearthstone, like, being one of the first tournaments in the new expansion nets you so much viewership. It's incredible.
Oh, it does. Look at Battle of the Best. They were one of the bigger tournaments right as GVG hit.
Was it Battle of the Best or was it Kingwin Invitational? Because I believe Kingwin.
I think you might be right. Yeah, Kingwin hit it, but then Battle of the Best also was in there, and then huge numbers. I've actually gone back and looked at that and looked at the YouTube, and the numbers on that were pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean,
so there's no like that, and that's kind of a lesson. Like, if they're going to do a season 2, get the fuck work on it, because they're gonna announce next adventure at BlizzCon, and I don't know if it's gonna be Iceground, but they don't. There's only so much time if you want a consistent season. Like,
so there should be second season. Like, it's if Pinnacle can have 4 seasons, half of them bad. I mean, ATLC should have a second season. They had very, very few production fuck ups.
Even Starlighters having a season 2.
Oh, God, aren't you not supposed to talk about it?
Nobody's told me anything about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, Starlighter is going to have a second season there. The first one was good.
It was actually really damn good. I'm surprised it took them this long to get another one going. And there's also, I've heard rumors that somebody who said they weren't coming back is actually coming back. But I can't confirm it yet. It's just rumors. But it'd be awesome if they did.
Vulcan?
I can't confirm.
Okay.
But if they do, man, that'd be amazing. But again, it's people doing a lot of this, and none of it can actually be supported by any facts. Drives me nuts.
But I'm really glad that HLC turned out good. I've said this in previous podcasts, but I was really pessimistic because the previous Archon organized tournaments did not leave me with the best impressions. But HLC, it performed exceptionally well. I mean, it's the only thing I don't like, and this is me being grumpy for no reason, is the overlays are ugly. But this is the only negative thing I can actually say about the tournament, really. And people know me to not be a fan of Archon. Like, I'm openly not a fan of Archon. And when
I'm not a huge fan of Archon either. I recognize what they did. They went and bought a bunch of power players right away to try to dominate, and well, it's mostly worked for them. The overlay, I will agree with you, was, but other than that, the rest of it was good. Good casting, good analysts from the casting side of it, and we also saw something we generally don't see in these tournaments. Literally, like 3 people analyzing the plays at the same time.
Yep.
It was great.
It was made possible after Wreckful never returned.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So ATLC, hope it's going to be back, and I'm sure it will be. But moving on to another main topic. Well, the second main topic of today, and it's going to be a longer one. So, as usual, these topics come to us 2 hours before the show. Chief and Sumadin will confirm that this is.
Yeah, it's like, oh crap! I gotta write a script.
Yeah, and I've been reading, on a lot about the Hearthstone, like different articles, and one article that I remember from back in the days, I cannot remember who wrote it or where it was published, so apologies. It was titled "Why They Never Went Away." So it was an article about why certain decks, certain classes, certain playstyles, they persist through patch changes, through expansions, through metagame shifts. And in this article, the author talked about Handlock, about Zoo, about Freeze Mage, about Hunter, how they never really go away, despite,
was listed, if I remember correctly.
What?
Control Warrior, I believe, was listed in there too. That's been around
again, I can't be sure because I'm just remembering this article off the top of my head. So if anybody knows where it was published or who the author was, just write in chat. I don't mind giving a shout out. It was a great article. It might have been on either on Tempo Storm or on Hearthstone Players, but again, I don't wanna lie to anybody.
Moving on.
But anyways, yeah. So I thought about bringing this topic now that TGT is going to release in 1 week. So and title the topic, will they go away? Again, we're going to talk about all these staple classes and decks that they just persist in the meta, but and see how are they probably going to behave after TGT. So a bit of a theory crafting going on here. So some general points in TGT that let's see if we agree on this. There's lots of healing now in TGT, and so most of it is class specific. We have healing wave for Shaman, Tusker Jouster for Paladin, big healing cards, either with a big body or with the potential to be even more healing. Like especially healing wave, it's somebody made a fun iteration of TGT cards, and it was like the fuck you aggro, and if you win the joust, fuck aggro more. So again,
jousting and healing is like two mechanics that's a match made in heaven, because against the classes that actually, like, you have something like Tusker Jouster, and it's like against the classes that actually have some degree of chance of winning the joust, you don't actually care about that healing. If they can actually win the joust against you, they're probably too slow for you to care about the healing anyway. If you can't lose if your deck is too fast to win a joust, then well, you're royally fucked, because now I have more health and you have more work to do, and I'm not +2 stats behind what I should be with a heal bot. So
there's also lots of minion removal in DGT, like really powerful minion removal. We have Mulch for Druid, we have Flame Lance for Mage, we have Arcane Blast for Mage, we have fucking Ice Howl, and then the 8 mana removal or 9 mana removal. What was it?
Yeah,
you forgot Polymorph 4.
Is it a removal though? Is it a removal, or is it turn my Silence Doomsayer into 4 damage face?
It's basically Huffer on demand. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's Polymorph Huffer.
It's Polymorph Huffer. Yeah. Lots of minion removal. We have some power creep, and not just the funny vibe of Magma Ranger to Ice Ranger, but
oh my god,
some serious power creep in the game overall. We actually did an analysis. Our colleagues, Rex Vayu, did an analysis of, let's say, the Shredder family and the licensed drivers, as we call them, like how the attack power and the health are increasing, and how the chance to get a higher cost minion from Web Spinner has increased, etc. And the new mechanics, both Inspire and Joust, suggest a mid-range play style, and this is something that we've been wanting, and we've been saying that this is how Hearthstone should be played, right? It's because there are very few Smork friendly Inspire cards, just because you don't really want to use your hero power when Smorking unless you're a Hunter. And
like that Brave Hunter is like the only one that I can really think of.
No, but that's a bad one. That's a bad one.
Yeah, it is.
And it's it's not. Yeah, it's basically a later turn play if you're even gonna play it, which you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to play 1 mana minion when your hand is empty. So again, most of the Inspire and Joust minions. Well, Joust is mid-range heavy and mid-range friendly, control friendly mechanic. No aggro decks will ever play it, but Inspire again also slows down the game. At least this is what it's supposed to do. So these are kind of the anchor points of TGT, if I might say, before we continue to through this discussion. And let's get on to the decks. And I want to start with Hunter because it's Chief's favorite.
Oh, I'm going to slap the hell out of you.
It's Ladder's favorite, it's Reddit's favorite. So Hunter has been in the metagame since forever, basically. There have been very short and very few periods where Hunter wasn't a top tier deck. And the reason is simply it has good value minions. I mean, Savannah Hyman is a good example. For a long time, Undertaker made it the top tier deck. It has, like, even though his hero power looks, you know, how to put it, unflexible, it's actually a great tool to either kill your opponent if you're playing phase, and when you're playing mid-range, it actually increases in value as the game progresses because you get less and less health with the progression of the game, and which means that Steady Shot does more and more % damage, basically. So,
yeah, pretty much.
You know, again, Hunter has undergone some style changes. The first one was the OTK. One of the most fun decks I've actually played. You know, the OTK Hunter decks way back in Alpha, early Beta, before it was killed. Then we all know the Face Hunter and the Mid-Range Hunter that are now kings of the ladder, as well as, you know, the hybrid version. But again, Hunter has been in the meta for forever, and it doesn't seem to be going away. What I want to start a discussion about Hunter and its future is, you know, one card. I know we've discussed it, but, you know, Lock and Load. Lock and Load is supposed to be, you know, a card that, well, it's a potential style changer. I know Stefan disagrees because you said it's way too random to be.
Like, people are gonna try it out. People are gonna learn the horrors of the Hunter, complete horror Hunter card pool, and they're gonna throw it away. Like,
yeah.
Do you think that the Hunter card pool has remained bad now that all cards have been released? Because the last time we discussed Lock and Load,
I think it's gotten worse.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, if you look at it, like, Ram Wrangler, like, are you seriously gonna include Beast support in your Lock and Load spell-heavy deck? Like, are you gonna have a Beast that sticks around to play your Ram Wrangler, or is this gonna be like your 3-mana 3/3, the 5-mana 3/3?
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna win you the game, no matter how many of those you can get on the field. Like, you can draw infinite 3-mana 3/3s. You're not gonna win the game with that. So, you know,
I'm not a huge fan of the card. I mean, if you're trying to build a deck around it, it's not going to work. If you're going to use it for, hopefully, like, an unstable portal value, again, that's way too much investment, and you don't even get a reduction, so it's like, meh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess, you know, still cards like Power Shot, Ram Wrangler, King's Elect, for example, it's an interesting card. They kind of suggest that you have to play more mid-range. There aren't really any face cards in Hunter, for Hunter, including TGT. Like, it doesn't look to me that, well, face Hunter, it's not going to change much, and if it doesn't, will it still be a good deck?
I still love Power Shot. I think that's a great card.
Yeah, I love Power Shot. But it's not going to be played in Face Hunter, right?
Oh, God, no. No.
It doesn't do face damage. What is it?
Exactly. You know, it was like, what is this? Trade value? What is this? Rexar's confused. You know?
Smart? Nope. Face?
Nope. Yep. They play top, we still go face. So, yeah. Aggro Hunter, I think, is basically in this set, and that's pretty much the God's honest truth. But I'm surprised we didn't bring up the most interesting aspect of the TGT 4 Hunter, Bear Trap.
Oh, Bear Trap. Okay, let's talk about Bear Trap.
I mean, okay, we all know how we normally trigger traps or test for certain traps, right? This totally screws with that. Yeah. Oh, you're going to send in your weakest minion first. Okay. Bing, I take 1 damage. By the way, have a 3/3 bear.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I still think it's one of the more harmless traps. Like, I mean, it's one of those.
It is relatively harmless, but it does mess with sequencing. And of course, you know, with Power Shot coming into the game, that's also going to make positioning against the Hunter really important. Not nearly as much as
Yeah,
like explosive shot would be, but you get the point.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get to play power shot in the first place, but again, for me, when I look at the hunter pool, it looks to me that Face Hunter will take a step back at least, because I feel the meta will slow down a bit. There are a lot of taunts, there are a lot of healing, as we said. There's a lot of minion removal. So I mean, I guess minion removal doesn't really affect Face Hunter because they don't care, but. I look at a card like Powered Glory for Hunter for Priest, sorry, which is 1 mana, you attach it to a minion, and whenever it attacks, you gain 4 life. So it's the power word anti-huffer.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, anyone who's ever tried to play, the Blessing of Wisdom cards, which is basically the same, anyone who's ever tried to play that will have you tell you that they will learn that minion has taunt. Okay, they will learn or else. That minion has taunt or else. So, it's gonna... And it doesn't see play, which means I don't feel like this is going to be good enough either. And it's for Priest, which has mega gajillion healing. Like, I don't think they're gonna need it. Like, their problem is...
I honestly think Priest is gonna be like the new Outlast class, I honestly do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But again, so is the Verdict here mid range over Face Hunter for TGT? Do you think, guys?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Like King's Elec, like the thing about King's Elec, even though it's a really good joust card, is that you actually need to be able to win a joust, and that's Hunter would still normal mid range Hunter would still need to be. Would not still be, lower curve than most decks. So
right.
I don't know.
I mean, you're absolutely correct on this, but I mean, let's look at it. So you don't win the joust, you get a Bloodfen Raptor. You win the joust, you get a Bloodfen Raptor and a card draw. It's a win situation either way.
Yeah.
And it almost makes like playing Haunted Creeper if you're not using Knife Tricklers a little bit not so needed.
But Haunted Creeper is really good.
It is, though. It is.
Like, I mean, you're gonna learn why you're not playing Bloodfen Raptor normally. Like,
yeah, I know. I know. But I mean, just because of the value of possibly getting another card draw, I think people are definitely going to be playing with it.
Definitely.
Okay, I wanna ask another question, a final question before we move away from Hunter into the next deck. Stefan, you said that the TGT pool for Hunter has gone even worse than when we last discussed it around the Lock and Load discussion. Do you think that this might actually kill Hunter, or at least diminish its presence in tournaments and ladder?
I mean, Face is gonna have a hard time because even dragons have solid taunt now.
Yeah.
Mid range, I don't know. Like, the joust is not in their favor, and it's one of the strongest mechanics against them. So, even for mid range, I don't know.
I honestly think that Hunter does kind of get knocked down a peg or two, which I should be happy about. But I'm gonna be honest, they're like some of the easiest wins for me with Control Warrior. So it's like, damn it! Now I gotta find something else that works better.
Even against mid-range, I don't think you win easy against.
Oh, I beat mid-range pretty consistently.
Really? Okay. Anyways, moving on to the next deck, and we are going into the Frostfiery reign of Jaina, and Medivh as well nowadays. So it's Freeze Mage. Now Freeze Mage has existed again since the earliest days. One of the few instances of the deck being played was Wreckful playing it in the first BlizzCon Invitational. What was it, in 2013? Was it?
And ironically enough, one of the only decks that countered it was the original OTK Hunter.
Absolutely true. So Freeze Mage survived even after it suffered a terrible nerf when all the ice spells, the freezing spells, had their mana cost increased. And it stayed consistent for a long time, even though it wasn't always the top deck of the meta. It was always there. I mean, RDO won DreamHack Summer with it. Fireball has been championing it since he plays competitive Hearthstone. He's one of the best freeze mage players. Forsen, also an avid freeze mage player. A lot of famous names and renowned champions actually piloting this deck with perfection. And then Blackrock Mountain came, brought us Emperor Thoris, and it made freeze mage even stronger. And probably it's one of the strongest. Probably the strongest mage build at the moment in my eyes. Like I don't see any of the mid-range or cancer builds with Flamemaker or Meg being on the same level.
No, it's definitely better than Echo Mage and all that fun stuff.
True. I mean, it's very difficult to pilot, but once you master it, you're gonna win a lot with it.
Yeah, because you pretty much set the pace of the entire game. You lock everything down. You know when you need to do this, and your opponent is always trying to figure out how to get around it. And let's be honest, no Kazan Mystic, you're wrecked.
Yeah, exactly. And but then again, looking, yeah.
I want to mention something here.
Sure.
Paladins are getting secrets apparently.
They have secrets.
Apparently, it's.
They're getting the mystic whatever.
Yeah, but they're also getting actually a really interesting secret. And depending on how that goes, it's still up in the air very much so. Suddenly there are 3 secret classes, and that's gonna bring Mystic back. And that's one of the questions, because Freeze Mage cannot handle Mystic, okay? Like,
Nope.
No.
I played Secret Paladins before. We'll survive our 1-mana spells being stolen, don't worry.
Yeah.
Freeze Mage cannot handle it. They die.
Tempo Mage can't really handle it either.
Nope.
No mage can handle this because
Hunter, that's pretty much a death nail for them.
Extremely powerful secrets. They have the best secrets in the game. Sorry, Hunter.
Oh yeah.
And
Effigy is just scary.
Until it gets stolen.
Until it gets stolen, yeah.
So I mean, that's really, like, the question is how prevalent will Mystic be, because that card kills them. Like, they do not stand a chance.
One thing I was, it was curious looking at the new TGT cards for Mage, and like I don't like a lot of them, but I liked it even less the fact that Freeze Mage is not getting really anything good, because you're not going to play the single target minion removals. No way. It's not how you play.
Flame Lance is not what.
Well, you haven't noticed a lot of these cards don't really enhance already existing builds. I mean, some of them you can honestly say, hey, I can slot that in here and it would work, sure. But they're pushing different types of play styles that most of these decks have not done before.
Yeah. So
I'm okay with them not giving Freeze Mage any more.
Of course. No. Like, in fact, from all the cards we've seen, I think Ronin is the only card that might find place in Freeze Mage, because when you clear the board, it's 9 damage to the face for 3 mana, and that's kind of cool for Freeze Mage.
Ronin works in like so many different archetypes for Mage. It's scary.
I want to try out Gaslow Mage. I know it's never gonna work.
Oh god, Gaslow Mage plus oh man.
Gaslow Mech Mage, like with Ronin for.
But do you drop Dr. Boom for Ronin?
No.
So
what a stupid question! Like, could you actually repeat it? I will make this a T-shirt. Do you drop Dr. Boom for X? No, you don't fucking drop it. No, you don't fucking drop it. What retarded idea is this? Like,
well, that's the clutch question, though. If you ask that somebody and they go, "Yeah, I dropped Dr. Boom," you just walk away.
Do you drop Wild Growth for Mulch? Yeah, sure. I mean,
but do you drop Wild Growth for Astral Communion?
No, because
of course not. They are perfectly complementary.
I've seen people actually test that Wild Growth because Astral Communion.
Really? These people need a reality check, and by reality check I mean uninstalling Hearthstone and going to play something else.
Oh my god, your Dota and League of Legends is showing, sir.
What? No.
Telling people to uninstall. That's so.
No, seriously though. But again, like, it's 2 questions here, of course. Will Freeze Mage go away? And we kind of answered it with the Kazan mistake, and I kind of agree. But I still.
I mean, there's another thing, and that is the good old healing. There's lots of healing.
Yeah.
And they really hate that. They're gonna rely on a lot more on their true Lord and Savior, Alex Strasser. That's gonna be a tough one, really.
I mean, I don't think healing will be that big of a problem because I remember, I mean, I know that Paladin never wins against Freeze Mage, for example, never, and they have Lay on Hands, they have Holy Light. Even in these almighty Healadins, they struggle against Freeze Mage. Now the question is, will these Healadins get stronger in terms of dealing damage? Because this was one of the problems that Paladins had. They could not kill Freeze Mage fast enough for their healing to matter. Like it's Freeze Mage only dies when it procs both ice blocks before it actually has the burst. So Paladins could not proc the ice blocks, so no matter how much they healed, they would still die to, Antonidas Chain. Now the question here is, Paladin, obviously there might be a bright future for Paladin, we cannot know. But they seem to be, no.
It's just like, I'm telling you, Murloc Paladin is going to be a thing.
No, fuck off. No, it's not going to be a thing. Murloc Knight making it possible. No, but again, it's a lot of, cards coming for Token Paladin, I guess, Secrets Paladin.
I don't think Paladin's gonna be what tips Freeze Mage, but there is the old nemesis of Freeze Mage is coming back with a vengeance. Wallet Warrior.
Yep.
Control Warrior, Wallet Warrior, whatever you want to call it.
What do you mean comes back? When has Wallet Warrior...
When has it gone away? I still play that. It crushes so much.
Okay, look, but their king has arrived and they're ready to conquer. Their empire is coming up from the south.
Yes.
And they are here to conquer, and they beat Freeze Mage to pumps.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question of both of you. If you don't pull Varian off any of your packs, are you going to craft him?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn right.
I mean, I have a Golden Warrior. Do you think I'm going to craft Varian? Yes, I'm going to craft Varian.
You try hard.
It's, yeah, I mean, I made it with Control Warrior, so I mean, of course, at the time there was no other build.
That's a lot of dust.
That's a lot of dust. That's a lot of time. Oh God, I'm trying to play up to Golden Mage now. But my best deck is with Mage is Freeze Mage because it is the best deck. And God, this game takes so long, and I want to have a life, and I just want to go outside and smell the air.
Hearthstone, life. Hearthstone, life. Non-compatible.
Hearthstone, yes. Life, nope.
Bad.
Angry girlfriend, yes.
Speaking of bad, let's move on to next class.
Oh, you're eager, right? You're eager because we're going to talk about the Warlock, and I know Stefan that you fucking hate the Warlock cards of TGT. So let's start with the Zoo. Let's start with the Zoo because again, it's everybody's favorite. Oh, it's a no-brainer deck. That's why Zizo plays it. So why do you like where Zoo is going right now, and is it going away? Because I seriously think it's here to stay, and I'm gonna give my reasons.
It's here to stay, but it's not with these cards. I mean, maybe Wrathguard, but Wrathguard has the problem that it dies, and that's kind of Zeus, Zeus' general goal in the early game. They're supposed to be resilient to the wind axes and lances and all of that, and Wrathguard is not resilient. It's just it deals a little more damage, but the thing is, control decks don't really care about taking damage if it means they can fight back. So
exactly, they'll just recoup it one way or another, if need be.
Again, it's a deck that doesn't win Joust, so it's gonna face more healing than most.
Here's where you're wrong, because I think okay, I'm not saying that he's 100% wrong, but I think there's the Valids, you can look at Zoo slowing down to the point it's, the slow Demon Lock builds are becoming the standard where they have Jiraxu, where they have Mal'Ganis, and these are, are going to become, I don't feel like people will still play the aggro version or it's not aggro, but fast mid-range Zoo. Because I mean, even now they're
And
slowing
it's not
down.
Zoo anymore. Like
It-
we can talk about
Exactly.
Demon Luck. Like that's probably what's going to be moving forward because of a certain traveling gnome, which is pretty much the only card released worth really talking about.
You mean
Uh,
Wilfred?
Yeah, Wilfred. I mean, I think he might work because of the whole, fencing coach. Like, you play him and something turn 3 and turn 5, and then, turn 6 you go Wilfred and into Mal'Ganis. Like,
Yeah, but you're telepathing that play pretty freaking hard right there.
maybe. Like, I mean, I think, like, Wilfred, like, I made an entire article that sadly didn't go up today about how shit Warlock cards
Yeah, you're gonna read it tomorrow for sure.
expansion is. Like, I mean, we have the first effectless class minion. Grats, Warlocks. Now fuck off.
Come on, a
Like-
6/8 demon?
It's really good when you get it from
It's good in
Bane
arena.
of Doom.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It's Bane of
And,
Doomable.
We're going to up your chances of a good Bane of Doom. Grats.
I mean, what I think Zoo will stay is because again they can slow down, and sure they might not win Joust, but they still have the world hero power with them.
yeah.
Because this is
That's
always going to be a thing, and the fact that Zoo is one of the very few decks in the metagame that actually play Hearthstone as Hearthstone is supposed to be played. They play creatures and they trade and they establish board control incrementally, and this is they play kind of like Druid plays, and Druid again partly because of the ramp and partly because they have good creatures. They're not going away, and this is why I think Zoo will never go away. Even if you give them shit cards. I mean, even before Imgang Boss, people were still playing Zoo, and it wasn't a bad deck. It was just Handlock was better at the time because of the metagame.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, Zoo's never going to go away, but I think its power level might have decreased a little bit in
Yeah.
comparison to everything else that's out there. So
I mean,
it may not be
it's
the
also-
go-to for everybody.
I mean, I'm not the biggest knowledge about, but isn't it also one of the hardest losers against control warriors?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
against
that's
Control
kind of the
Warrior,
problem because the Empire is striking. Like the kingdom of control warriors
God.
will march forward. Like there's no mercy. If you cannot fight control warriors, you don't have a place in the following meta.
Yeah.
Like,
I also like one thing that's also interesting is that Druid is getting a lot of good cards, and
yeah,
Druid,
they are like.
Druid-
I mean,
Yeah.
Druid was
Yeah.
Druid was the free win for Zoo before this. Like you would go against Druid and they need to run perfectly and curve perfectly, and then they might beat you.
yeah.
And now they get really
have
good cards.
They have a slightly better chance now because Darnassus Aspirant is actually ramping with tempo. Like, what's
Exactly.
this nonsense? Like,
And
Um,
you've got Living Roots, which you could use to either build a board state or kill Knife Juggler.
I mean, you have
Path
two
is
more
still
removals
around.
for Knife Juggler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean,
Um,
it's pretty legit.
And
so their bad matchups are getting. The good matchups are getting worse, and their bad matchups are getting dominated in the meta. So,
yeah.
I think that Warlocks is gonna take a little break here, unless
You think-
Wilfred Frizzlebang really makes Demon or Control Lock a really strong thing.
Let's move on to this one, because another Warlock build that has been staying for longest time is Handlock. Handlock
Yeah.
is never going away. Like, it's probably one of the decks, like, that never exited out of the meta. Like, mid-range had its moments out of the meta, freeze match had its moments out of the meta, Zoo as well. Handlock has always been there. Everybody,
Yeah.
somebody's always playing Handlock. Always.
Yeah, it's the only deck build that gets super value out of like two different giants. Of course, it's gonna stay.
Exactly. So, can we safely say that Handlock will continue to be in the meta even after TGT, or it's starting to change
again, like, can you defeat Varian? Like, I think that's kind of the
now.
thing
Do you
here,
think this will be the topic of TGT matchups then? Can you beat Wallet Warrior?
I think honestly, like Varian looks really insane, and
He looks good, but I mean, there's a lot of things that, you know, and I hear this all the time. It's like, oh yeah, Varian's going to be the #1 wallet warrior. I see it differently. I play my control warrior in a very defensive manner, all right? So when I look at Varian, he scares me because a good part of my strategy to winning is being able to use my battle cries when I need to. But with Varian, I lose the battle cry. So I mean, Alex Straza to reset my life, the Shield Maidens to give me that armor I need just to survive one more turn. That could be crucial there. It could be game breaking. Don't get me wrong. I completely agree. This card is bonkers. But at the same time, it can also basically choke.
The question is also, like, with the resurgence of Control Warrior, will this give resurgence to the Counter Paladin, which is another one of Handlock's very questionable matchup, because Paladin can handle those giants. Don't worry, they're gonna bring them to the Colosseum and they're gonna let them follow the rules. Okay, like that's basically the story of Handlock versus Paladin.
And when those are gone, they just drop their new legendary to take care of the Molten Giants, and all is well.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But still, again, equality is never going away from Paladins.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you said, you know, with the Coliseum, again, same thing. Like
maybe.
Coliseum is a very interesting card that we haven't really talked about anywhere. And
it's a scrub Wrath of God.
No,
it kills only the scrubs.
It's a scrub brawl. Sort of.
Yeah. But it's really good against control and it's really good against Handlock, so it might see play. Like,
yeah, for 6 mana, yeah.
I mean, it's for example, when I look at a deck like Handlock, I ask 2 questions: will Green Patron go away? Because if Green Patron stays as one of the decks, Handlock will stay, because that's the easiest way to beat Green Patron.
All right.
That's a
shall we drop? Let me talk about something about Patron. We pretty much know that, you know, the release date of the Grand Tournament is the 24th. Okay. Scroll back 6 days. That is when the balance changes for the Goblins vs Gnomes was announced compared to their final release.
So you think
scroll back 6 days, that's tomorrow.
Okay.
So if they're going to bring in a nerf, we would know about it tomorrow. And the question is, will Battle Rage survive? That's the big if. Because honestly, I have an entire article pre-written because that's how likely it is that.
Well, Battle Rage has been nerfed once before. It used to be a little bit more punishing. Actually, it was used to be completely punishing.
I'm thinking Buzzard level of get the fuck out.
Out of here. Yeah.
You are not.
Battle Rage needs to be 5 mana.
At its current state, probably. Or it's gonna, you know, take my nerf and, you know, go up to 3 and then only count minions.
Okay, guys, I want speaking of Battle Rage, let's derail the topic here just a bit, and I want to ask you a question. So we had Battle Rage before Blackrock Mountain. We have, you know, Warsun Commander. We had Frightening Berserker. All these cards before Blackrock Mountain. Now, in Blackrock Mountain, you know, is it only Thorison that made the deck possible? Like,
no, it's Grim Praetor. Like, or rather, it's actually, I want to say, like, the problem with Battle Rage, which seems to be the problem, is it's balanced as long as Warrior cannot win with it. Like, as long as they have no tools that can actually win the game with it, it's balanced. And that is hopelessly short-sighted design. Like, I mean, it's been part of... This is the 3rd combo deck that it's been a part of. You know, it was part of Panda Giants, it was part of Alex Ross Charge, and now it's part of...
It was the same deck at one point as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, kinda. It's the same engine, and it's kind of the same engine that's coming back. And the problem is, whenever there's some massive combo, it's like, well, this engine just carries it like a champ. And that's, like, I feel like why they need to just take it out and give it a buzzard, like, because
Yeah.
that
And,
it's just waiting for trouble. Even if Patron goes out, like, it's just a matter of when's the next combo.
exactly. And other people have also said, the issue isn't so much the Battle Rage, but is the Warsong Commander. This is another card that has been nerfed because it has so much potential. And what people are wanting to see is it actually turned into the first minion, and only that minion gets that charge.
That's a change I've been considering. Like, I mean, that's one of the balance mechanics that I haven't used that much. Like, the only card that currently runs on the once per turn or first time is the pint-sized summoner for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But I mean, first time is a mechanic that they could use more, I think, but they haven't really utilized it as balancing tool yet so much. So I don't know. But I definitely feel like Battle Rage is just something that's gonna come back, because here's the thing, like, give me 5 cards, 10 mana, and a Taurisian discard, and I'll kill you. That's something that almost every class can accomplish. But actually gathering those cards, actually surviving and keeping the board on control until 10 mana and 5 cards, like, that's something that only Patron can do. Like, give me Malygos and
I mean, you have 4, because Druid kills with Thaurissan, Malygos kills with Thaurissan, Freeze Mage, obviously.
Malygos plus 2 Moonfire plus, the new Living Roots kills with the coin. Like, you can do that with 11 mana.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coin or Innervate. You don't need... Fuck
Thaurissan. Thaurissan opens up so many possibilities to this game, and I'm glad he's here. But, I mean, going back to the Patron thing, I just have a real problem with Patron. I mean, it is the strongest deck in the meta. You ask any professional player, hey, what's the strongest deck? Oh, Patron. You look at tournament results. You look at what decks people are bringing. Patron, almost guaranteed, 95% of the time in everybody. Patrons. Yeah, and then you got, your Hunters occasionally. Actually, Hunters seeing less play than Patron, let's be honest. And then the other one is their own personal flavor. So it's all about Patron.
I mean, it's kind of hard.
I looked at TGT, and I don't really see many true hard counters to Patrons. I see one off here in this class, one off here in that class, but not really all that much.
Do you think like a card like Chilmao, which looks like designed to beat Patrons because it has stone in it and it says it kills the Patrons? Basically, that's her effect.
Yeah, but it's still gonna get executed.
Sure, but again,
I mean, if you can play it, like, if it's on the board, if you play it on the board after they have done the whole Patron combo, sure. Does Patron run silence? I don't know.
Yeah, they don't.
But yeah, I mean, if you can play it as an answer to the combo, sure. But again, you really just want to get them off the board. But maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I also see Ender the Coliseum as a possible counter to Patron Warrior.
Yeah, that's actually one of the most sold ones, I think.
Yeah, because it'll get rid of the War Song.
I mean, it's a brawl card, and for example, if you look at players like Life Coach, they actually run a single brawl in their Patron Warrior just for the mirror. And
it's a smart play.
I mean, Life Coach is making it, so of course. Like, he's the microchange god of fucking Hearthstone, man. Like, he puts one card and he changes the matchup. But again, it's... if things slow down, if you get like Ramp and Handlock still in the meta, if you get slow demon,
let's just fall back to another dead horse. Control Warrior. Like, I mean, I know this kind of sounds silly, but if you Varian and you drop 3 legendaries at once, they don't like.
They won't die to Patrons.
No, and like, they only have 1 execute, maybe 2 if they haven't battle raged yet. If they are battle raged already, I mean. So, like, that's actually pressure enough to kill them. Like, if they don't have... And you can't just brawl... Like, brawl only takes care of 2 of them at most, so... again, I think, like, I'm gonna jump on the hype train and say Varian is here to
This is okay.
make the
We're
kingdom.
going to remember this episode as you saying that Varian will define TGT. Like,
I really think so. Like, he
you
really
think so?
seems
He will be
strong.
the Doctor Boom of the Doctor Boom slash Lothep slash Thorison of TGT.
Most likely.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He is definitely going to be there. But I
Like,
still
he
think,
seems like
Ronan holds a candle to him as well, but nowhere near as much.
no, like
No, Ronin is a very specific card, I would say, and I mean, I actually like Ronin better than Varian. And I'm a warrior player, so I mean, we'll see. That definitely the card that.
It seems like the card that just lets them get that winning playoff. You know, like you play him and he brings out Ragnaros, Ysera, or something like that. It's gonna be less than that, but obviously, it's still gonna be. It's still. It seems like it'll still be strong enough to make a finishing move without
One thing I do like about Varian is it's almost a guarantee that Ragnaros is coming back to control Warrior.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Because let's face it, you don't actually want to be drawing Boom. Like, it's just another 7/7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ragnaros is the king, and Ysera, and
I mean, you'd want Rag, you would want Ysera, definitely. Sylvanas, obviously. You don't want Berengen, just because
No.
Patron still exists.
maybe even Sneeds, like in some.
Sneeds is a good play, yeah.
Sneeds.
Kel'Thuzad's also good. But,
Chromagus maybe. Chromagus maybe.
Chromagus is a good one as well.
Maybe. Then we're running out of slots. Like, there's not gonna be that much.
It's Wallet Warrior. You don't need that many slots. Everything is stars.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on, like, controller's control tends to be the winner of whoever is slightly slower until someone switches to a race deck, and then
Kills you.
Now, but here's the question: if Hunter starts falling out of favor, do you still run Harrison Jones?
Well, you run it against the Wallet Warriors.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be Winax, there's still gonna be the Death Spites, so yeah, Harrison Jones is not going anywhere, and Paladin's also gonna be everywhere because they're one of the few classes that can beat Control Warrior if it needs to.
Yeah, I do think that they're going to do something specifically to Patron. They have to, because you look at some of the cards that they've introduced in TGT, and a lot of it's token generation, guys. And these tokens suck.
Yeah,
they're all inspired
against
based
Patron,
on
I
tokens.
guess.
Exactly. Patron dominates the crap out of it. Why would you introduce new cards that basically feed into an already existing problematic set? It makes no sense.
I actually feel like Shaman can tread on Patron Warrior if they become powerful.
Shaman is definitely one of those classes that nobody ever gave a crap about previous to this, and they always surprised us when they won with it. Now it's got the potential of being, I'm not going to say tier 1 class, but damn near.
Yeah, I mean, it's still in the theory crafting era, but I'm liking how Shaman is turning up, and again, nobody's really talking about like, yeah, Shaman can actually upset these decks or that deck, and it has a lot of early game pressure, and it has the ability to run away from these low mana totems that only feed Patron's kind of style.
Yeah, in all honesty, if Shaman becomes really, really popular, then I feel like Patron's value drops. To be honest with you,
at least, because here we're talking about Variant so much.
There's also one card that run over a lot of the radar, and that's actually the Clockwork Knight, which could take the place of Fellreaver without the whole suicide your deck.
Oh, yeah. Thank God! Yeah, so I mean, Mech Shaman's still really strong.
Without the whole, it's not an 8/8. It's not the same, I die or you die now, but it's at the same time, I don't think Fellreaver is going to white because Execute's a thing, regardless.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, what I like about that is, I'll tell you right now, what I love doing when people play Fellreaver, I'm going to play out 3 cards, and then I'm going to big game Hunter your Fellreaver, just so I burn a third of your deck and go.
Yeah, that's the problem currently. Like, they don't have anything that can hold that slot. And I think they might have it now because Clockwork Knight actually seems like a solid card even for common.
It really does. It really does.
I mean, and we cannot really forget that Shaman is one of the decks that actually defeats Controller rather easily. Even because I remember when the time was everybody's playing Controller and I was trying to level up my Shaman. You would just feed off those guys like easy wins, because they really run out of removal for your free minions. Sure, Mech Shaman doesn't really play this way, but mid-range Shaman, the totem-oriented Shaman, it was a really big pain for them, because how do you go through something like Feral Spirit, a card that's almost obsolete now? It's a shit card, and Warriors still find it difficult to go through it, and
it's a nightmare matchup. I've played it 100 times and I hate it 100 times. So I was like, all right, is it mech? I have a chance. Nope, I'm done. Concede.
You have to have basically Geddon or a Whirlwind effect at the same time to clear the board, and it's really a nightmare. And again, we were talking about how Varian is going to be the king of the new meta. Well, if Shaman becomes a thing, it might put this to question. I mean, of course, people are still going to play Controller because you're not going to play against mid-range Shaman only, but it's possibly one of the decks that will, keep this Wallet Warrior in check.
I think Shaman's going to be the breakout class from this set. I honestly do.
Okay, moving on to Narcos. I think we talked about Patron Warrior a bit too much. Let's move on to the final class. It's Druid. So Druid again, always in the meta, always winning.
Priest.
Yes. Well, you can let's say will Priest consistently stay out of the meta? Yes. Okay. Moving on to Druid.
I mean, Dragon Priest might make a few moves with the new
Worm Rest with the Worm Rest thingy. Okay.
Yeah, and the general taunts, like it's rock salt minions. Like
I don't think one minion is enough though.
No, but they get 3. Like they have, the new
legendary just screams,
Twilight.
"Hi, let's go to fatigue," because that's the only way you're gonna win.
And priests like fatigue. They have.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So you never know.
Oh god!
And they're one of the few classes that can actually beat Control Warrior at their own game. The question is, can they mind control Varian and his friends? Like that's that's the
mass mind control. Sacrifice half your life, gain their board.
But they can light bomb it, so that's actually they might, because they can actually fight Control Warrior quite well. And how do they handle Shaman? I don't know. They tend to cabal a lot.
They did destroy Shaman because Circle is just demolishing their board. Anyways, moving on to Druid. Stop derailing, you sons of bitches. moving on to Druid. Druid probably, arguably, the biggest winner of TGT in my eyes. I know in Stefan's eyes.
And my eyes too. Like,
I
mean, they get 9 cards, and there's 9 good cards here. Like, it's 9 cards that could see play in some sort of deck. I think, not necessarily the same deck, but I could see myself with a deck that uses this.
I could see multiple different deck designs off of all of those cards. That's what's really scary. It's like adaptations to already existing ones, new builds that people have tried to make work before but never did, but now they might actually be a little bit more successful. I see aggro, I see mid-range, I see burst, I see control, I see ramp.
I see YOLO ramp.
Exactly. Yeah, YOLO ramp for the fucking win. Let's be honest here. That shit's gonna happen. YOLO ramp. Haha. Concede.
Yeah, it's in my eyes, Druid is the most unpredictable class coming into TGT. Like, I don't really know where it will take, and I know we've asked the question multiple times: is this going away? Is this staying? And the same question can be asked about combo Druid, and I think the answer is no, because Force of Nature is still a powerful combo, so you're never going to see it fall out because 14 damage is 14 damage. But then again,
another thing is, variance. Variance is often a strength, which is something Druid have been lacking. You knew when you were going up against it what a Druid was.
Exactly. And
but suddenly, now like a druid, what the fuck what is happening?
Right.
What am I facing?
What do you hold in your hand? Is
Yeah.
it going to be a ramp druid? Is it going to be, a fast druid? Is it going to be like an aggro druid? Is it going to be... Because of that variance, you will misplay a lot because of what you're going to get in your hand. You are going to pull wrong. And that's going to lead to a lot of cheap victories for fucking druid, let's be honest.
I mean, they already take cheap victories just because they run ahead of you. And, this is why I consider Living Roots to be the best card in the set, hands down, because it's a card that doesn't betray any information. You play Living Roots on turn 1, it can be Ramp Druid that just usually uses Living Roots as a removal, but it can also be fucking Token Druid that they will just, spawn, a few shit, then Savage Roar you and kill you on turn 5. This is actually what I wanted to see in Druid, because it's from the start of the game, it's been one of my favorite classes. This is the first class that I actually mastered.
And we might actually see Violet Teacher come back to Druid.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, obviously, as we said, Force of Nature is never going away. But, the sheer, the sheer scope of builds you can get with Druid is now what's the most exciting about this class. It's no longer this stale, one-way, class that, okay, I know what's happening. Because do they drop a taunt that's not Druid of okay, it's Ramp and this is how I beat it. Do they not do it? Okay, it's fast combo, so I'm gonna play around Force of Nature, and it was really easy to beat Druid if you know what's happening and you knew what's happening. The only way Druid could actually win a game was that they would run ahead of you, and they would snowball the game from there. And now they have so many more options to ramp, but they have also so many options to diversify.
Yeah. That's pretty much spot on. I can't even add anything else to it.
Nope.
Yeah, again, I was trying to, scribble down Theorycraft on a piece of paper, like, where is Druid going, and I seriously have no idea.
Bloody clue.
If Druid can go wherever the fuck it wants, that's all you need to know. It can go wherever it wants because it's got the tools now. Oh, I want to be this, I'm this. I want to be this, I'm this. Druid probably has one of the most complete sets. It's always had a very strong set, but it now probably has the most complete set of tools to do whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
And that's good. This is how every class in Hearthstone should be. Obviously, this is a very difficult thing to achieve. To, make a
Control Hunter.
Yeah, control. But
not gonna.
The only class in Hearthstone. Okay, the only two classes in Hearthstone that have diversity right now are Mage and Warlock. These are Warlock is. Oh yeah, it does has its builds, and Mage has its builds. A bit, let's say 4 builds that are viable, some more than others, obviously. But no other class has any diversity. Priests have one build, Rogues have one build, Warriors arguably have one build nowadays. Hunter too, Face is almost non-existent nowadays in tournaments.
But isn't really mid-range really just Face in disguise?
Sure, but again, it's the same. Like, the same way you play against Face Hunter is the same way again you play against mid-range, more or less. You just don't want to die to steady shotting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're again always on the defensive, I would say, unless you're Face Hunter Inc against mid-range, then it's obviously the other way around. But again, and now I'm glad to see that Druid is joining this group of classes that have specs. I'm not sure if Shaman will become one of those classes now with. Okay, do I play mid-range? Do I play Totem Tribal? Do I play Mech Tribal? That can very well be a thing. I cannot really say for certain. Like, it's predicting the future is a hard thing, but I don't see any other class really getting so many types and builds just looking at the card pool.
I noticed how we didn't talk about Rogue, who got like Jack Andor shit out of this set.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons we are not talking about Rogue, because it's not even fun to make fun of it. It's so shit.
I mean, they got a car that literally has the Hamburglar on it, for fuck's sake.
It's oh my god, it's so.
The only reason I don't mark them as the complete losers is because they're pretty competent deck beforehand, whereas Shaman or Paladin kinda was shits, and Paladin kinda gets more shit, but.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, is Rogue in that bad of a position? I mean,
yes.
Oil is still going to be a thing. It's still going to be
powerful.
It just doesn't add anything new to it.
I'm
I mean,
not.
they gave them a shittier SI7 agent. That's how much Blizzard cares about Rogue right now.
They gave them pirates though. Can you imagine? Oh my god, so exciting. But it really isn't. Come on, it's.
They gave them pirates and one fucking Murloc to Paladin. Fuck you, Blizzard.
Again, this I don't really want to make fun of Rogue because it's cruel, man. It's like making fun of the fat kid with the glasses. That's also stupid. So it's not going to become this tech genius. It's he really doesn't have a future, man. It's
the only reason I'm not making fun of Rogue is because that would be wasting time. I could make
fun of other people.
Make fun of Warlock. Like that's like that's basically how I feel about it. Like if I'm laughing at Rogue, I'm like I would. But Warlock's getting double assassinate that discards the hand, or you know.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement that both Rogue and Priest are the fat kids at school.
Yeah, I mean.
Good. No.
Priest is the fat kid with potential. Rogue is the fat kid with.
That picks.
I was going to say something insensitive, but the fat kid with no future. It's you know that.
So he'll be president of the United States. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh right. But don't you have to be like an obnoxious little shit in addition?
No, you just have to have money. That's it.
Okay, so the poor fat kid with no future then.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's always one such kid, the poor fat kid with no future.
Yeah, that's me. Wait a minute now.
Wow, you're looking at me. I was a fat. Oh God, I. In my defense, I got glasses a bit late, so I dodged the period when I was fat, poor, and with glasses. So I'm not Rogue.
Yeah, I didn't.
What, you didn't what?
Dodge that at all.
Really? You were fat, poor, and glasses? Oh God.
Yep. Then I got into sports. Lost half of it.
Okay. I didn't. I got into esports, and look.
Gained all of it.
Look how this has turned out. So, yeah, it's.
How that works.
It doesn't really grow your muscular power when you're into esports, I guess. Like, you have to.
Yeah, man, you could crack a walnut with your fingertip.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can, push myself out of the bed in the morning, which is still, good thing to do at the frail age of 28. But
oh my God, children.
Oh my God. Anyways, okay. Final thoughts about the discussion. Any final thoughts? It might be making fun of Warlock or Rogue or Chief being a fat kid with glasses. Anything, Stefan?
I'm gonna slap the shit.
I don't know. Like, I mean, as I said, by tomorrow at this time, if there's going to be any serious balance changes, it would be tomorrow at this time we would know about them.
And the hope is kill Battle Rage with fire.
Pretty much. That's the only logical thing.
And if they don't, people are gonna cry and cry and cry.
I don't.
Well, they probably will. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I have an entire article almost pre-written for this because I know how likely it is. Like, it literally. Like, it's beyond the level of auctioneer or boss up. Like, it needs to happen. And it can only be
I mean,
too
draw
soon.
and draw has always been a strong mechanic in card games. If you draw more things, you can do more things.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I said in my other article, every TCG screwed them up in their first set. Like, the Magic the Gathering target one mana draw 3 was in the first set. Pot of Greed was in the first set. Like, every single TCG screws this up in the very first set. And what matters is not how you screw it up, but your resolve to fix it. Which is hopefully gonna come tomorrow.
Okay. Let's fingers crossed. Now, Chiv, before we move on, people are actually demanding to see your childhood pics.
No.
Come on, like, indulge them. For the next show.
I don't have them. That's the funny part.
You don't have them? Come on.
There was a fire a long time ago. It's a long story.
Did you set up the fire yourself to burn your childhood?
I cannot.
You will not deny your comment? Okay. So sorry.
I actually do have a couple picks, but yeah, no.
Oh,
Not till
God.
I hit a certain goal on donations. Not happening.
Okay, let's make this goal happen then. What's the goal?
Oh, well, in that case, I need $2,000.
Okay, two grand. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get a motorcycle. Fuck off.
Are they worth it? 2 grand?
Oh, God.
No. Okay.
No.
Sorry, people. We're not going to see Childhood Chiv. Or are we sorry? I'm not sure. I guess you're that type
Oh,
of
it's
story.
bad. We're talking corduroy vest and striped shirt.
I mean, of
man.
course it's bad, but then again, I saw the new Fantastic Four in theater, so it's. I mean, I can take bad. I can take bad.
If you were here, man, I'd give you a hug, man.
I've seen Elysium in theater. Like I've seen every shit movie that's ever been released of the current generation in theaters. It's almost like a guilty pleasure to watch and be disappointed. Like me and a friend of mine are building the Elysium Batman and Robin scale of awfulness, and
Holy shit.
yeah, I mean we have to go see these movies because it's for science. I mean, this is what we keep telling ourselves. But anyways,
It's for science. Don't lie.
any final words from you, Chiv?
As usual, check out the guys and gals of Luminosity Gaming. Applejack is alive. All right, stop sending me questions about that.
Hashtag promised.
Hashtag promise. A lot of our guys are going to be showing up in a lot of different events coming up in the future. I know I leaked one, but I'm not going to say any of the others. It's actually going to be quite
You're like the
interesting.
worst manager ever, just casually leaked an event.
Nobody told me not to say anything about it. If they said, hey, it's confidential. Nobody said shit about that. That's their fault. And actually, I already knew about this beforehand.
Yeah, of course.
So, anywho. So go ahead and check that out. And as usual, Niger loves Face Hunter.
I love Face Hunter. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Yeah. You keep trying to say Hunter is me. No, sir. I'm not having it.
Okay, again, thank you guys for joining us for this episode. We will be back next Monday. It will be just before TGT, but I hope that we will not discuss TGT because it's been 3 episodes in a row. And although
it's gonna be on the next one too, because the hype train, you know how it's gonna be.
I mean,
there's gonna be the brawl too.
It's
like,
but again, I hope
maybe
that
we'll get a couple more Chacky moments in next week.
Chacky moments, you know, like showing middle fingers.
Get DM'd on.
You have to be very specific on what you mean by a Chacky moment because it's now a Chacky moment. You know.
BM.
But yeah, it's
me.
At least I would love to have a non-TGT main topic for the other episode, for the next episode. Oh, we are going to talk about the brawl, of course. But this is always the case, I guess, with when a new expansion comes out. You have to talk the shit out of it because what else is happening? And I actually hope that the scene picks up, that we get more tournaments because it's really quiet now. It's almost hauntingly quiet.
That's actually a topic I want to talk about next week. I mean, we had a lot of tournaments in 2015, and there's a really interesting thing that I noticed from like different tournaments that were around in 2014 to this time is that the numbers that they had back in 2014 have dropped.
You mean the viewership numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the next week then on the Innervated, viewership numbers and I guess the tournament scene, and what does this mean? Hearthstone, Chief setting up the topic. He's an important host.
Am I like the only investigative journalist here? What the hell? Gonna have to change my name. Something Scottish.
God. Okay. Let's try to close this out in a civilized manner. This time at least. Catch the next show on next Monday, 9 o'clock p.m. CST, which is 3 o'clock Eastern. I always wonder if that's correct, but I guess it is. It will be us 3 again, so until then, enjoy Hearthstone, enjoy TGT, enjoy the brawl that's going to launch this week. So yeah, just have fun jousting or whatever you do, or go have a live play another game. I don't really care. Try Rocket League because it's an amazing game. Beat
Rocket League is life.
beat Jiv at Rocket League, which shouldn't be too complicated. And again,
They call me Dr. Boom.
they do not call you Dr. Boom though.
Actually, they do call me Dr. Boom.
Oh God. Okay. With this embarrassing fact, which is, I don't know what's embarrassing. We are going to close